Hi, I'm Michael Mann for BikeSocial and welcome to California, where evidently the sun doesn't always shine. However, Royal Enfield have invited us here to ride this, the Interceptor 650, and it's one of two brand new bikes in Royal Enfield's lineup, and it's the culmination of a 10-year-long project and a brand new chapter in Royal Enfield's rather illustrious history. The US prices were announced, and this Interceptor 650 is from about $5,700 US, which will be about the same in British pounds, there or thereabouts. But firstly, let me just introduce you to some of the components about this motorcycle. It's purposefully basic, right? So it's all about concentrating on the ride and the experience. So we've got 18-inch wheels front and back with 36-spoke rims. We've got a single brake disc, and we've got bi-brake brakes, so that's by Brembo. It's like the budget version of the Brembo. What do we got? We've got non-adjustable front forks, a single headlamp. Moving up, we've got the twin clocks on the front here. They're beautiful, these are. On the left-hand side of the twins, we've got, they're both analog with a little digital display in there as well. Miles per hour, kilometers per hour. The right-hand side's got the rev counter and a lush little Royal Enfield emblem on there. And then if you just click the ignition on, you can see on the digital part of the display, all you're getting is a fuel gauge, A and B trips, and then an odometer as well. That's it. There's no rider modes, there's no traction control modes, there's no ABS modes, there's none of the sort of gadgets and gizmos from today's modern day motorcycles. And on the instrument panel too, well, first things first, got these great mirrors, they must harken back to the olden days. Just real simple layout as you'd normally expect with your light display indicators, so on and so forth. 13.7 litre fuel tank, and there's 6 different colours of fuel tank in the range. The air and oil cooled 648cc twin cylinder motor sits obviously right in the heart of things here. 6-speed gearbox for the first time on a Royal Enfield. They've got this beautiful seat here, looks really, really comfortable, narrow at the waist. It's only 804 millimeters high, which means it's really nice and accessible. Moving backwards, the twin springs, twin shocks on the rear, bolted straight into the chassis here, these the piggyback reservoirs. This is adjustable for preload. You've got the twin silencers, which look fantastic as they're splitting out from the side there. It sounds glorious. I've already heard it when it started up, and it's got that beautiful, typical twin throng out of these silencers. Fantastic. So to find out a little bit more about this Interceptor and also the Continental GT and the 650 twin project, I went to catch up with Siddhartha Lal, the Royal Enfield CEO. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Here at BikeSocial. So, well, firstly, congratulations. After all the effort and time and development, it's been a long old project, but these two beautiful machines and one fabulous engine, how does it feel to finally be able to show them off to the world?
Bit of a relief actually, because as you said, we've been working on it for so long. It's been 4 years since we started the development, and this is the first motorcycle that we were sure that it was going to be a motorcycle that was developed for world markets, right? Not just for India and then other markets as an afterthought in some sense. But yeah, it was a big effort. We've been really slogging and working on it for a long time. But it was just 3 days ago that anybody outside of Royal Enfield has actually properly ridden the motorcycle, the final motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys like it.
Yeah. How does that feel for you though? You must be, it's like your children almost on show for the rest of the world to see.
A bit nervous and at one level, but it's also just really exciting because you can't keep things to yourself. You have to let them out in the world and let people see them and enjoy them. And we were confident because we've put in so much effort. I mean, the number of hours, the number of resources, the number of testing, validation, it's really gone through its paces. And as you've seen some of our test riders, I mean, they've been breaking the bike for the last 2 years, and we've really got a lot of data and understanding out of it. So we've been able to solve all the problems well before we were getting into final tooling and production and all of that.
Was it always your intention to make 2 bikes with the same engine?
Quite early in the process we decided there'd be 2 bikes, because when we first launched our Continental GT 535, we had an outstanding response to the motorcycle. People loved how it looked, people loved the chassis. Some people, the engine was a bit more love-hate because, if you like it, you do, and if you don't, you don't, because it's quite vibey, but it's got a lot of low-end torque. So But the other thing that we heard and understood is that even people who wanted the Continental GT, and especially the ones who love the chassis, they were like, "Yeah, it's really nice, but not for us because of the riding position, right?" So I guess a cafe racer is a bit more committed in its riding position, and people wanted something different. So right early on, when we were looking at the replacement of the Continental GT, which is what we started the project with, we said we must have a roadster as well. And then we went back into our archives and had a look and understood what it could be. And we said, what better than the Interceptor, which was the epitome of California cool.
So if I had the keys to both bikes in my hand right now, I was giving you one of them, which one would you choose?
Well, that's a really tough one. It's like choosing between your kids. But I say gun to head, I'd have to choose the Interceptor out there, just because I've actually had one of these, not with the twin, but I've had one of these in my garage for a while.
So before we even started the ride today, Royal Enfield, their engineers, their management, and even their test riders had spoken very highly about this engine and about the bike, as only they would. So of course it's up to us to determine whether that's factual. Now we've covered 130 miles today of the Western Californian coast roads and up into the mountains, where I assure you it got a lot sunnier than it is now. And this thing's going to be an absolute bargain. Fine, we don't know the exact UK price just yet, but it's going to be about the same from dollars to pounds. It'll be about the same. So about somewhere between £5,500 and £6,000. The way it just sort of vibes, you can feel it through the seat without, but it's got that counterbalancer shaft in there, so it's not like it's an obnoxious vibration, but it's that lovely, it's almost like you want that to feel that mechanicalness of the engine, of the twin beneath you, and you do, and you get that. The throttle response is lovely and direct. The gear box is fabulous. It's lovely and sweet. The grip from the Pirelli tyres is neat. The single, even though it's a single brake disc, it's nice and sharp and well balanced. In fact, the whole chassis is very well balanced. It's a nimble bike. So even though it looks very classic and very old school, the engineering that's gone into this package is nothing but 21st century, I assure you. And it's really, really impressive. The sound is great. The suspension, fine, it's soft and it's a little bit bouncy in places, and especially because we're pushing on a little bit with a press ride. And actually, speaking of which, in terms of miles per gallon, well, we achieved 51 today, and the way in which we've been riding, it's pretty good going. I think normal everyday circumstance, you'd be up towards 60 miles per gallon, no problem. I am very impressed with what Royal Enfield have achieved with the Interceptor, and I will be offering you a full review at BikeSocial.co.uk.